Rahugrasta. Repeat pandrela. We'll do some chanting first. Rahugrasta.
Rahugrasta.
Divakarendu.
Divakarendu.
Sadrisho.
Sadruso.
Maya samachhadanat.
Maya samachhadanat.
Sanmatrah karanopa.
Sanmatra karanopa.
Samharanato.
Samharanato.
Yo bhut sushuptaf puman.
Yo bhut sushupta puman.
Pragaswapsamiti.
Pragaswapsamiti.
Prabodha samaye.
Prabodha samaye.
Prabodha samaye.
Prabodha samaye.
Yaf pratyabhijñāyate.
Yah pratyabhijñāyate.
Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye.
Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye.
Inor thara repeat pannalam. Rahugrasta divakarendu sadrisho.
Rahugrasta divakarendu sadrisho.
Maya samachhadanat.
Maya samachhadanat.
Sanmatrah karanopasamharanato.
Sanmatra karanopasamharanato.
Yo bhut sushuptaf puman.
Yo bhut sushupta puman.
Pragaswapsamiti prabodha samaye.
Pragaswapsamiti prabodha samaye.
Yaf pratyabhijñāyate.
Yah pratyabhijñāyate.
Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye.
Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye.
So we'll look at the word meaning. Word meaning pakalama. So Rahu is the planet Rahu. Planet na chala kudadu. We call it graham na challuvom illaya. Sanskritatla these are all called as graha. So Rahu grasta divakara indu. So inga ஒரு spelling mistake இருக்கு. Inadun இருக்கு. It should be indu. அதை நான் fix பண்றேன் அப்புறம். So it is Rahu, which is the Rahu planet. Grasta, it is grasped. Divakar is the sun. Indu is the moon. Sadrishaha, Adumadri. Just like that, Maya has completely encompassed or covered. Samachhadanat. So Maya eppadi cover pannirukku? How it has covered the entire perception is the way how Rahu has eclipsed the sun and the moon. The Divakara Indu, the way it has eclipsed both during the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, how it has eclipsed the sun and the moon. In the same way, the Maya has covered our perception. Next one, the Sanmatra Karana Upasamharanataha. So Sanmatraha is Sat Matram. Sat Matraha abdina Sanmatraha vandhathu because of the Sandhi. Sat Matraha, that which is Sat, pure truth or existence, that alone is there. Karana or the sense organs. Upasamharana is withdrawn, to withdraw. Yaha, the one who remains in deep sleep. Abhut, upasamharanato yo bhut sushuptah puman. Yaha abhut sushuptah puman. That is this thing, padacheda there. Yaha abhut, the one who remains sushuptaha, in sushupti. Sushupti is the deep sleep state. Puman is a person. So for somebody who's in the state of deep sleep, it is similar to how during the eclipse the Rahu has covered the sun and the moon. In the same way, Maya, due to Maya or ignorance, the truth that is there, which is the Sanmatraha, is covered by the sense organs are withdrawn, and it's covered for one who is in deep sleep. Then next phrase, another. Pragaswapsamiti prabodha samaye yav pratyabhijñāyate. Prag avapsam, the one who has gone into sleep, and on waking up, prabodha samaya, at the time of waking up, the one who recognizes this, which means the one who is realized, he is the guru. To such a guru, tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam, Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Right? So that is the padacheda. So now let's get into the exploration of this. So what it's showing again, if you remember, Dakshinamurti Stotram shows a lot of pictorial representations as metaphorical examples for us to understand the tattva. See, as we spoke, we always said that we need something that is known to understand the unknown. Only through the known can we try to go and try to understand the unknown. Because if somebody is saying the unknown, as an example, if somebody has not tasted dates, dates enna solluva Tamil, I don't know. Perichambazham vandu, if nobody has tasted perichambazham or dates, how would you explain that to somebody? You will say that it is chewy like gum, but it is sweet, but it's not, it doesn't stick into your mouth, but yet it's soft. You'll describe it in certain ways in comparison to something else. He has not seen a date, and you're trying to explain the date through that which you know. So that which you know is always used as a means to understand the unknown. And which is what Bhagavan Adi Shankara has used in this whole stotra. Many places, right? Starting he talks about Nana Chidra Ghatodara Sthita Mahadeepa Prabhabhaswaram. He uses the body as the pot. Then first shlokathaliye he says Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam. He says, as though the mirror, the reflection in the mirror that you see of the whole city, in the same way within your own consciousness, the whole world is reflected. And in the previous shloka also he gives another pictorial representation, and so on and so forth. In this shloka, he talks about the eclipse that we have experienced. We have all experienced in our lives solar and lunar eclipse, right? And solar eclipse happens when the sun is bright out there, but the moon comes in between the sun and the earth. So when it comes in between, it hides the sun. And hence you see the solar eclipse. The lunar eclipse is seen on a Paurnami day. See, there is Amavasya. There are days when you don't see the moon. There's Amavasya that is there. Lunar eclipse doesn't occur on an Amavasya. Lunar eclipse occurs on a day which is Paurnami, yet the moon remains hidden in the shadow of the earth. Because the shadow of the earth falls on the moon, the sunlight falls on the earth and the shadow of it falls on the moon on a Paurnami day, you see a lunar eclipse, which means the moon is not seen. Moon is supposed to be seen, it's not seen. The sun is supposed to be seen, it's not seen. That is an eclipse, right? So he's giving that example. So he's saying, now, is the moon, is the sun not there? Or is the moon not there? during an eclipse. Even otherwise, it's always there, right? Even at night, the sun is there. Even during the day, the moon is there. But he's using the example of an eclipse just to show when it's supposed to be there, and the time la kuda adu illa. See, night la the sun is not supposed to be there. It's on the other side. We are facing the other side. Moonji tirmintom. The earth is, we are facing the other side from the sun. So hence we are not able to see the sun. Acceptable. But on a regular day, when the sun is supposed to be shining bright, there is this eclipse that's happening and the sun is not seen. So can we say the sun is suddenly gone, missing? Sun is not gone missing. Sun is there. What has happened is another celestial body has come in between, and it has covered our perception. Avaranam. It has done. It has concealed our perception. Maya samachhadanat. Let's look at the word samachhadanat. So samachhadanat is to conceal your perception. We discussed the other day, last week, if you remember, we said Maya has two Shaktis. One is Avarna Shakti, the other is Vikshepa Shakti. Avarna Shakti is to cover the truth. Vikshepa Shakti is to project the unreal, like the screen, the movie screen. So he's showing an example here that that which is supposed to be there is not there now. And what has happened? It's because something else has come and covered it from our perception. In the same way, within us, that san matraha, the sat matraha that is there, truth alone, it is shining. It is ever shining. It is always shining. There is no time that it is not shining. There is no space where it is not shining. There's no, you can never think of a time that the consciousness that I am was not there. So he says, and this is something that one needs to go through subsequently, mananam and nididhyasanam, one needs to go inside and try to observe this thing within one's own self. Is there a time that I never existed? Even if we go into coma, suppose we go into coma for 10 years, I happen to go into coma. When I wake up, I have this recognition that I was in coma for 10 years. So that recognition, who is giving you that recognition that you were in coma for 10 years? Now, maybe 10 years you may not recognize. You may think that, I thought I just slept for 10 days, but 10 years is past. The time duration may collapse. That's all right. But then the knowledge of your non-being will be there. Right? I was not awake. I was not awake and conscious and doing my things. That recognition is there. Nobody needs to tell you that. It is not like I died and I was born again. No. We experience a continuity. And that occurs even at sleep every night. Deep sleep. He talks about sushupti. So when we go into deep sleep each night, we recognize that we have gone into deep sleep. When we wake up, we know we went into deep sleep. Something within us is recording this information. Now, the thing is, we are ignorant while we are in deep sleep. And which is why we are unable to be aware while we are in deep sleep. What remains in deep sleep is only ignorance. Ignorance is the only thing that remains in deep sleep, which is why while we are in deep sleep, we don't recognize it. Like, for example, you're awake now. And if somebody is asking you, are you there? Are you here? Shiva is asking, is it like to remember that I was sleeping? I must have been conscious of it at some level. Because to remember, you must have experienced something. Correct. You're right. That experience is very interesting. What we say is that there is no absence of experience in deep sleep. You experience absence. It's a very, very subtle observation one needs to make. What you experience is absence, and that it gets recorded into our very, very subtle conscious space somewhere. It gets recorded, which is why when we wake up, we are able to say that I had a good deep sleep. Nobody in this world who has gone into deep sleep will ever say I had a bad deep sleep. He may struggle to go into deep sleep. See, the thing is, why do we take sleeping pills and all of that, or we are not able to sleep, is the struggle to go into deep sleep. But by some means, we go into deep sleep, either through sedation or pills or meditation or chanting or japa or tiring yourself, exhausting yourself. By some means, you fall into deep sleep. When you wake up, you'll always wake up refreshed. You'll always wake up saying that I had good deep sleep. Now, this recognition is there somewhere. Something or something within us is recording this. Right? Now, that which is recording is always there. That which is recording is always there. So you can never negate your own existence. We can never negate our own existence. We can never say that, oh, I probably was not there at this time. No, you can never. You may not have the memory of it. That's fine. You may not have the memory of something happening. That is all right. But you being at a certain place, you may forget. You being at a certain time, you may forget. Did I visit that place? No, we may question. That is all right. You have not registered the memory of a certain place. That's all right. But you will never remember the lack of experiencing your own self. You can never tell that there was a time in the past that I didn't exist. Think about it. Throughout, you may have been unconscious. Monday, we may have become unconscious, or we may be in hospital under sedation, on anesthesia, or every night we go to sleep. But we always know it is I who am going through all this. There is no breakage in our experience. There is no breakage. It is not like, hey, suddenly somebody else went into that and it's somebody else now who's waking up. It is never that. It is never that someone has gone into deep sleep and when you're waking up, you're becoming somebody else. This is why Paramahansa Yogananda, Gurudev says, if you go to sleep a thief, you will wake up a thief. If you die a thief, you will be born as one. So deep sleep does not make you a saint. Although in deep sleep you are a saint, you are God. But because of ignorance that is there, that ignorance, it suddenly does not transform you. Realization, that is why, can only happen when you're awake. Attaining self-realization can happen to one only when we are awake, not when. Otherwise, I can go into deep sleep and the next day morning I'll be a realized saint. That can happen to everybody. Unfortunately, that's not the way. Right? So the experience of the self is never broken. And this is very important for us to recognize. Why this is important is because this is the testimony to say that I always exist. Did I exist before I was born? I don't know. Will I exist after I die? I don't know. But right now, while I'm living here, I have no breakage in my experience. And what the masters say, who have conquered death in a certain way, who have conquered deep sleep. And the moment you conquer deep sleep, you have conquered death. Because deep sleep is nothing but death occurring to us every night. You're dying. Karana upasamharanataha, karana upasamharanato. So all the karanas, the anta karanas, bahish karana, all of them get withdrawn. When they get withdrawn, what you are there is you're actually dead. Of course, just the breath is going to keep the life force going here. But death is a similar experience where the body and the life force is not existing in this individual frame. So the one who is won over ignorance and deep sleep also wins over death. So for him, that is why in Bhagavad Gita, the shloka goes, right? Somebody can help me. What he says is, I think in the second chapter, was Nainam Chindanti. No, not that.
Gatasuna Gatasunoro. Is it?
No, the one where he says his body is like a dress or a garment. The body is like a garment which you it's a beautiful shloka.
Nainam Chindanti
Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavakaha, Na Kledayanta Apaha, Na Shoshayati Marutha. That is to describe the nature of the soul.
அதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஸ்லோகம் இருக்கு வாசம் விஹாய நவானி குணாதி நரோபராணி தத்மா ஷரீராணி விஹாய ஜீவானி அன்யானி சய்யாதி நவானி தேஹி.
Exactly, in the shloka. Beautiful. So திரும்பி ஒரு தடவை சொல்லுங்க உமாமா.
வாசாம்சி ஜீர்ணானி விஹாய நவானி கிருண்ணாதி நரோபராணி ததா ஷரீராணி விஹாய ஜீர்ணானி அன்யானி சய்யாதி நவானி தேஹி.
So this shloka very beautifully explains that similar to the way a man changes his garment, yatha vihaya, எந்த விதத்துல அவன் வந்து கயட்டி சேஞ்ச் பண்றானோ garment, in the same way the soul or the atma changes body. Changes the body. The thing is, we don't know, we don't have the recognition of this because there is ignorance before, there is ignorance after, there is ignorance even now. But then underlying the ignorance right now, we are aware of our existence. Now, which means even after the body drops, the awareness of the existence will continue. It will continue. We think it will not be there, which is why we are so worried. But it will continue. The body will drop. The awareness will continue. It may take a different form at a different time in a different space. It may, we don't know how long it will take, how soon it will be, where it will be. But then it will move on. But the important thing is, for this ignorance to drop, we have to be in this form. This is what the masters tell us. We have to be in this form for the ignorance to drop. And once that ignorance drops, then you know that you're not this body. Deham pranam apindriyanyapi chalam buddhim cha shunyam viduhu. Sri balandha jadopamastahamiti bhranta bhrisham vadinah. So you know then I am not this deham pranam indriyani chalam buddhihi shunyam. I am none of this. I am that atma alone, which is existing throughout time, throughout space. The one who has known this, yaf pratyabhignayate tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. The one who has known this, who has understood this, Prabodha samaye, while the waking, when he is woken up, that one who knows pratyabhijnayate, he knows this as his own experience. Pratyabhijna appadina one's own experience. Nobody has to tell you. Nobody has to tell us now how dates tastes. Nane saaptu paathutten. I have tasted the date myself. I don't need anybody to explain. Nobody has to come and explain that it is like that, like that. Not required. My own experience. Immediate. All experiences are immediate experiences. The knowledge of the self, the experience of the self is an immediate experience. You don't need a mediator. You don't need a mediator. The experience is immediate, instantaneous, right now, right here. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam, Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Stu. Check. Iniki Dakshinamurti anga. We'll continue. We'll look at the shloka again next week and we'll see. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyeva Buddhyatmana va Prate Subhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayana Yeti Samarthaya. Hari Om.
Thank you so much. I take leave.
Astu Hari Om.